Okay. Great. Okay, we are going to pick up now. I don't know. I'm hoping that the other video did not get lost after all of that. I'm going to go ahead and talk for a moment now about... Well, first off, let me see if I can go back. Let's see. No? Okay, we're not getting anywhere. Okay, hopefully that other video will be around. And let's go ahead and add now, and we'll upload both videos. We're going to talk for a moment about people who have died, and then I'm going to talk briefly about this week in history, and then we'll upload both videos, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, there's our visual aid. Fingers crossed. People who have died in the last week and a half. First off, today there was a death of an actor whose name I can't recall, but if you are a fan of Anne of Green Gables, the young man who played Gilbert Blythe died today or yesterday of a brain hemorrhage. Earlier in the time since we've been together, Stanley Cutler died last week. He was a Watergate historian, and he fought for and won the release of Nixon's secret tapes, and that helped him write the book Abuse of Power. He died at age 80 in Wisconsin. James Best died as well. He was a character actor and was best known, and I'm sure he was proud of it, of playing Sheriff Roscoe Coltrane on the Dukes of Hazzard. He also did a number of other appearances, including Twilight Zone in 3 separate episodes. He died at age 88 in, of course, North Carolina. Ray Charles died. I know you thought Ray Charles was dead already, but this is the other Ray Charles. This is the Ray Charles of the Ray Charles Singers. If you don't know who he was, it's because you're too young, or you didn't ever like that kind of music, as the case may be. He did music for Your Hit Parade, the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour, and the Muppet Show, and he had albums by the Ray Charles Singers. He kind of led a group like that. Milton DeLugg also died. He was an orchestra leader, briefly led the Tonight Show band for Johnny Carson before, I want to say Doc Severinsen, but I think Doc Severinsen was preceded by somebody else besides Milton DeLugg. In any event, Milton DeLugg was a songwriter, and he wrote or co-wrote the Nat King Cole hit called The Orange Colored Sky, and he was also an accordionist, and he was 96 when he died. He was so old, he actually accompanied Al Jolson at one point. 2 other people. One was Richard Dysart, who played Leland Mackenzie on L.A. Law. I thought he was an old man then. He wasn't as old as I thought, and that show was about 30 years ago. He died recently at age 86. Also recently was the death of Stan Freberg. Stan Freberg was a creative advertising expert. He created a lot of very funny commercials. F-R-E-B-E-R-G, if you're not familiar with them, look them up and look at the scripts. He also did some albums, comedy albums. One 2-record set was called The United States of America, and as said, he was the father of the funny commercial. He also did voices on Stuart Little, on Ren and Stimpy. He did some work on the Bugs Bunny show, and he did some work apparently on Roseanne as an actor. I watched Roseanne very little when it was on, so I don't remember that, but there you are. This week in history, I'm going to be brief because we had the technical difficulty of the other recording stopping when I went to go to Skype, which reminds me, let me see if I can do something here. Apparently not. Okay. In any event, this week in history, I'm just going to talk about today's date, which was April 19th. By the way, I will mention one other. April 20th, which is tomorrow, depending on when you're watching, but from when we are recording. April 20th is the birth of Adolf Hitler. Today's date, April 19th, a lot of violent activity, but let me talk about some births of famous people on April 19th. In 1968, Ashley Judd was born, which is disgusting because I remember 1968. 1962, on April 19th, was Al Unser Jr., and in 1935 was the late Dudley Moore. 2 years earlier, Jane Mansfield. And back in 1903 was the birth of Eliot Ness, who, as you know, later played Robert Stack. In In 1995, in Yokohama, Japan, a religious organization called Aum Shinrikyo, they engaged in a poison gas attack and injured 300 people, just to prove that religion is truly wonderful. Also on this date, in 1993, there was the assault on and a standoff with the Branch Davidians. In 1993, that was near Waco, Texas. And in 1943, on April 19th, the SS attacked Jewish resistance fighters in the Warsaw Ghetto, and they fought back. 60,000 Jews held out for 28 days, and the final death toll was 56,000 of them, that is, the Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto, and 300 Germans. And finally, on April 19th, 1915, during the First World War, the French pilot Roland Garros was forced to land with his plane intact. That is, they didn't shoot him down and it crashed. They forced him down. At that time, Germany learned about the mechanism that the French were already using that allowed a machine gun to fire from behind a propeller. As you can understand, you have to synchronize that, otherwise the bullet will hit the propeller, which will make the plane go down. Not a good idea. I don't know who had invented it, but the French were using that, and the Germans were able to figure that out after they forced this plane to land. It was the German designer, Anthony Fokker, F-O-K-K-E-R, who used the concept in a plane later, and the plane, of course, was called the Fokker. Anthony was almost as well known as his maternal parent, who, as you might guess, was known as Old Mother Fokker. And if you think I use today's date for anything except that, you are wrong. Anyway, that finishes us for tonight, or today. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed, assuming the tape kept and we've uploaded it, the interview with Dr. Katka, and hope you join us again next week. Please tell a friend, and as said before, if you're looking at us on your smartphone, please switch us briefly to vertical, and down below where my visage appears, there will be a little red thing that says subscribe. Please go ahead and subscribe to it so you can learn of our other videos directly instead of searching for it. If you're looking at us anywhere else, go to youtube.com and do a search under Jeff Bushman Experience. Thank you. Good night. Be kind to each other, and please don't go away mad. Thank you. Goodbye. As said, goodbye.